Hey there. Have you ever felt just completely wiped out by the never-ending stream of choices you have to make every single day? If that sounds familiar, then you're in the right place. We're going to talk about why your brain feels like it's constantly running on empty, and more importantly, 4 super simple micro-habits you can use to get that mental energy back.
Ah, the dreaded question. What do you want for dinner? Does this simple, everyday question sometimes make you just want to shut down? It sounds so small, right? But it's the perfect example of that moment when your brain just hits a wall. You've already made a million decisions today, and this one last choice just feels impossible. Trust me, it's not just you. There's a real reason why this happens.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into why your brain shuts down in the first place. Then, we'll walk through 4 awesome habits to fight back. We've got the brain dump, the checklist cure, automating your routines, and the big one, learning the power of no.
All right, let's start with the why. Because before we can fix the problem, we really need to get what's actually going on inside our heads when we feel so completely drained.
So, there's actually a name for this feeling. It's called decision fatigue. Think of your brain's ability to make good choices like a muscle or a phone battery. The more you use it throughout the day, the more tired and depleted it gets. Eventually, it just runs out of juice. And what's really wild is how physical this all is. Get this. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real, physical threat, like a lion chasing you, and a mental one, like a mountain of decisions. So it treats that overload as an attack. It floods your body with the stress hormone cortisol, and over time, that can literally cause your prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain, to shrink. So that shutdown feeling, it's not just in your head. It's a very real, biological defense mechanism. And I really want this to sink in. This isn't about you being lazy or unmotivated. It's not a character flaw. Your brain's executive function is just spent. It's like trying to lift a heavy weight after you've already been at the gym for 3 hours. The tank is just empty.
Okay, so how do we start refilling that tank? Our very first habit is all about getting that mental clutter out of your head and onto paper. We call this the big picture, small picture brain dump. Step 1, grab a notebook, a scrap of paper, whatever you've got, and just write down everything. Every little to-do, every worry, every idea that's bouncing around in your skull. Just get it all out. Then, and this is the most important part, you look at that huge list and you pick just 1 or 2 things to be your priority. Highlight them, circle them. This tells your overwhelmed brain, hey, forget all that other noise, just focus on this. It's incredibly powerful.
Moving on to our second habit, the checklist cure. Now this one is fantastic because it taps into a really deep psychological need that we all have. It's about giving your brain that sweet, sweet feeling of satisfaction. It's a simple truth, but it's so important. Our brains are wired to want to finish things, to close the loop. But so much of our work these days is digital or abstract, right? We never really get that job well done feeling, which leaves our brains with a ton of open tabs, creating this constant low-level stress.
And that's where the magic of a physical checklist comes in. The simple act of drawing a line through an item or ticking a box sends a clear, powerful signal to your brain, this task is done, you can let it go now. You know, a great little trick is, even if you do something that wasn't on your list, write it down anyway, just so you can get the satisfaction of crossing it off.
And the effect this has is huge. Seeing that tangible proof of progress literally flips a switch in your nervous system. It calms down your stress response and activates your parasympathetic system. That's your rest and digest mode. It's like sending a direct message to your brain that says, hey, we're good. The threat is gone. You are safe. All right, our third habit is all about playing defense. Your mental energy is weakest at the very beginning and very end of your day. So that's where we need to build some walls to protect it. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got the reactive morning. You grab your phone, you start scrolling, and you immediately hand over control of your mood to whatever the internet throws at you. You start the day stressed. But on the right, you have an automated, intentional morning. You have a set routine, maybe it's reading, maybe it's music, maybe it's meditation, but you are in control. You start the day with calm and intention.
So here's the bottom line. When you have consistent routines in the morning and at night, you take away the need to make a bunch of tiny, draining decisions. This trains your brain, and it conserves that precious mental energy for the big, important choices you have to make later on.
And this brings us to our final habit. And honestly, this might be the hardest one for a lot of us, but it is also, without a doubt, the most powerful. It's all about actively protecting your time and energy by setting boundaries. Saying no can feel really uncomfortable at first, but it is so essential. And it doesn't have to be a big dramatic thing. It can be as simple as skipping a social event because you know what you really need is sleep. It can mean setting a firm rule that you don't check work emails after a certain time. It's about looking at your life and choosing a sustainable path, not a frantic one.
At the end of the day, saying no isn't about being mean or selfish. It's actually the ultimate act of self-control. It's how you take back your power, protect your mental energy, and make sure that you have enough gas in the tank for the people and the projects that truly matter to you. Look, decision fatigue is real and it is heavy, but the good news is you have the power to fight back with these small, intentional changes. So looking at these 4 habits, the brain dump, the checklist, automation, or saying no, which one are you going to try first? You don't have to do them all at once, just pick one and start there.